And it's a good afternoon from outside Graz Hauptbahnhof. And this looping canopy dates from 2010, and standing above the cuboid concourse dates from 1956, when the station was rebuilt after the Allied bombing during the Second World War. The interior of the concourse is truly stunning, completely dominated by Peter Kogler's wonderful mural. This was in fact a temporary installation in 2003, but it's been retained due to its popularity. And my train's already waiting on platform 1. It's the 1426 RJ370 Railjet to Prague. But today I shall be getting out at the Czech Republic's second city of Brno. Power today will come from this Austrian Class 1216 Taurus Eurosprinter, which is attached to this České dráhy Railjet set. But before we have a look inside, let's talk about what we're really here for today. Let's talk about the route. Because today we're going to ride through the Semmering Pass. We'll head out north and there'll be a few stops before we go through the pass itself. And then once through, we'll head on into Vienna. And here we'll cross the Danube and then head out to the border and cross over into the Czech Republic at Břeclav. And then we'll continue on to Brno. The journey of 359 kilometres or 223 miles is scheduled to take 4 hours and 10 minutes. And considering the terrain, the average speed of over 50 miles per hour isn't actually that bad. So let's first have a little nosy at this ČD Railjet. The second class looks pretty comfortable, and as you'd expect, it's in a 2+2 configuration with a mix of table and airline seating. The interior may look a bit familiar to UK viewers as it uses Grammer 3000 seats. Over in the UK, they've been used on refurbished HST sets for many years. And then we're into first class, past the somewhat useless info point. So, whilst this front coach has the really comfortable first class Railjet seats, today I've paid a supplement to sit in the business class seats that are right at the front. They're a bit more armchairy than the first class seats, and they do have a lot more recline, although I wouldn't say they were completely lie flat. I have a power socket on the wall and my very own mini bin, which sadly is already full. Then out of the armrest comes the pop-out table, which is pretty stable, but you know, I was blowed if I could get it back into the armrest. As you'd expect, it comes with a blind and some reading lights and a cosy red headrest. And the big selling point, miles of legroom. But I can't help feel just a little disappointed as the seat booking system showed this as a forward-facing seat on the right-hand side. But due to the train running in reverse formation, I've now got a rear-facing seat on the left-hand side. And that is not the best side to be on when you go around the Semmering Pass. However, there is nobody else booked in any of the business class seats, so for now I can pop across whenever I want to. There are 6 business class seats here, and I thought it was worth a supplement so that we could review riding along in one. The only additional benefits you get for your supplement is a welcome drink and also a 50 Czech koruna, that's about £1.60, discount on things from the restaurant car. Mind you, that discount only counts if you order whilst the train is actually in the Czech Republic. And you know, business class seems a bit of a misnomer because actually it's an awful lot easier to sit and work at one of the first class seats. Anyway, looking out the window, this looks to be a pretty riverside run as we make our way up to the pass. But going up the valley, it's not just all castles and views, there's also quite a lot of industry along here, and it's good to see that some of it has got rail links. And we continue to gain height as we follow the route of the Austrian Southern Railway. And this route between Graz and Vienna was opened in stages between 1841 and 1848. I've already ridden the 1849 extension to Ljubljana on the channel, although I think I really must return to complete the journey all the way down to the Adriatic coast at Trieste. Brook an der Meer is now not only a confluence of two rivers and a railway junction, it's also the place where the S6 and the S35 motorways meet, and so we have to pass under the S6 to enter the station. And at the station we also meet a train of rails coming in from the west. Well, it seems that paper mills are quite a thing round here, as we pass the huge Norske Slog mill as we leave Brook. Oh, and these large freight yards include a lovely old locomotive roundhouse. And at Kapfenberg we meet the southbound RJ75 from Prague, which is bound for Graz.
Next stop, next halt, Mirzuschlag.
After Kinberg, the valley feels decidedly narrower and there's definitely an alpine feel about the place. And you also get the distinct feeling that the railway is climbing now quite fast. However, I'm stumped for changing seat as the business class has now completely filled up. At the next station there's another railjet coming southbound. This time it's the RJ657 running from Vienna to Graz. And I'm sorry, even after hearing it through the station announcements, I still cannot pronounce this station name. And this is also the location of the Sudbahn Museum. And my excuse for not stopping to visit? Well, it's closed on Mondays. And also, most importantly for modern railway travel, this also marks the spot of the western portal of the new 27.3 kilometre long Semmering base tunnel. Construction of the base tunnel started in 2012 and was supposed to complete in 2026. However, the current completion date is sometime in 2030, and the final cost around 3.9 billion euros. When open, it will reduce journey times by about 45 minutes. But the real benefit will be the removal of steep gradients, which will mean that freight trains will no longer require two locomotives. Mind you, I think rail fans will still opt for the slower route through the pass, so let's enjoy it now. There are two single-track tunnels at Semmering, and we will take the right-hand one, the new one. And when we pop out at Semmering, there's a lovely old railcar to view, and we're spot on schedule too. And with a quick check of the map, I'm up out of my seat and into the vestibule, so that we can look out at the right-hand side of the train along this most impressive part of the line. And immediately we get a wonderful view of a valley as we cross one of the impressive viaducts along the line. Wow, this really is amazing. Oh, and here's the rocky outcrops featured in so many photographs. Even in the rain, this view is amazingly impressive. I'm not sure that anything I can say will add to it. At Breitenstein, we skirt behind the village for yet another great view. And as we slowly descend, the rails continue to just grip the side of the valley. And after Eichberg, there's time for one more clockwise swoop around before we can finally drop to the valley floor of the River Schwarze. Incidentally, some of you may be debating what the future is for this line after the base tunnel opens. Well, I think it'll be retained, not just because it serves some fairly busy towns, but also because the line itself is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And looking down here, it's clear where there has been a canal dug. No doubt the river is not navigable at this point. And as we roll through Glognitz, it's worth noting here is where the eastern end of the new base tunnel is sited. We are now less than 1 hour away from Vienna. Right, I think I can safely return to my original seat for the rest of the trip. And we're soon down in the fertile lowlands of Austria and speeding our way towards Vienna. And so we quickly come upon Wiener Neustadt. And as we leave, adjacent to the North Station is the first official Austrian airfield, which was inaugurated in 1909. The tracks are now flatter and straighter, and the line speed has increased to 160 km per hour. And the sight of double-decker CityJet trains mean we must be well into the orbit of the S-Bahn of Vienna. The branch from the Westbahn joins us and we enter Wien-Meidling, which serves the southern part of the city of Vienna.
Next stop, nächster Halt, Wien Hauptbahnhof.
And after that it's a short ride through the rail yards, where there is some very good train spotting to be had, before we roll into Vienna's Hauptbahnhof on time at 17:02. And we enter just as our sister railjet RJ79 from Prague to Graz pulls away. We've got 8 minutes here and then we'll head on out. No doubt I will be returning to Vienna on the channel someday in the future. I think you could make a whole video just about the station itself. On leaving Vienna, we must go southeast for a while before we turn north in order to cross the Danube. I'm sorry, dozy me didn't actually record crossing the Danube, and now we're speeding away from the city. And then we leave the northbound line to Wockersdorf by peeling off to the right for the Czech border. And we're joined by more lines coming in, as this is actually a major diamond junction. This section of line is dead straight, so we should get a chance to, as some would say, get a wriggle on. But not with all this infrastructure work going on and all these S-Bahn trains. Still, it'll be nice when it's finished. Gesendorf is another junction station where there appears to be a night jet train hanging around. You know, 5:30 in the afternoon seems a bit early for this one to be heading into the station. Do let me know in the comments if you know what it's doing here. On the other side of the train at Angen, we begin to track the River Morava, which acts initially as the Austrian-Slovakian border, and then later becomes the Czech-Slovakian border. You know, it's been a long day for me, starting much earlier in Ljubljana this morning. So, as the sun begins to set, I slide deeper into this business class seat. Hl.n is one of the last stations in Austria. We'll soon be in the Czech Republic, although all these blue wagons are from PKP Cargo of Poland, which highlights just how much international traffic rolls through these European countries. And after the lake, we cross into the Czech Republic and almost immediately pull into Breslav, and we're still on time. Breslav looks to be a handy interchange for trains and buses, and the station building itself probably reflects its old importance as a border station. Of course, we are travelling through the Schengen zone, so there are no delays at all here and no paperwork. Mind you, there's an awful lot of Kia cars on their way somewhere. Now, they may have been built in Slovakia, as Kia has a big new factory in Žilina. And now we're in the Czech Republic, I could use my discount to order some food. But we're nearly there now, and I'm going to cook something in my rented apartment in Brno tonight. Although I should have at least shown you the menu. I'm sorry about that. I was riding on an Interrail pass, but the prices of tickets bought about 3 weeks in advance will vary depending upon where you buy them. ÖBB will charge you €28.50 for second class, €51.80 in first, and €66.80 for business. However, České dráhy will sell identical tickets in Czech koruna for roughly these prices, so you can see it does pay to shop around. And these busy carriage sidings mean we're approaching our final destination for this trip at least. On the entrance to Brno Hlavní nádraží, the skyline is dominated by the Cathedral of St. Peter and Paul. As we pull into the left, there are a few terminus platforms, but the main station is set on an S-shaped curve that skirts the old city.
There it is, we're into Brno, and well, what can we say about that? Business class was actually a little disappointing. The seats weren't all that comfortable, and certainly not as comfortable as the genuine first class seats, but Semmering Pass, what a wonderful, that is just so absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed that particular part. That really was something I've wanted to do for a while, and I really enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and do like and subscribe, as all the YouTubers say, although many of you already have, and thank you for all the people who like, comment and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So I will probably see you here sometime soon, but in the meantime, goodbye and thank you for watching.